How much money can you save living and working as a teacher in China? What's up, guys? My name is Dylan. I'm an international economics teacher living and working here in China, and I'm trying to make content that answers the questions that you guys are asking me in my DMs. So hopefully this video will be useful and give you some kind of range as to how much you'll be able to save if you do decide to work here in China. It's not a very easy question to answer because it ultimately comes down to how much you're actually able to earn and obviously how much you're spending whilst you're here. So what I'll do is, for context, I'll tell you how much I save per month, and then I'll kind of break down, based on the different levels of teachers, I guess you could call it, how much you could realistically aim to save. So in my case, I'm a qualified teacher. I work at a British international school teaching economics, and I'm able to save most months about 15,000 RMB. Obviously, some months are a bit more expensive than others and I save a bit less, but generally speaking, I probably average out about 15,000 RMB per month. So if you're also a qualified teacher, especially if you've got a bit of experience or you're teaching a specialist subject, again, it depends on how much your outgoings are. I, for example, don't have any children and I'm not married, so it's a bit easier for me to save money. But if you're more or less on my level of qualifications and experience, you can expect to save roughly around 15,000. I have some colleagues who save up to 20,000. I have some colleagues who work very, very hard and they save a little bit more than that by taking extra lessons, but generally speaking, about 15,000. If you are an unqualified teacher, you may still save 15,000 RMB, but it's really going to depend on what kind of school you work, how many hours you're working. But again, even as an unqualified teacher, 15,000 is still an achievable number if you don't have any kids and your outgoings are reasonable. Yeah, if you do have children or your outgoings are a bit higher, then I would say anywhere from 10 to 15. Then if you are a TEFL teacher, if you're teaching English in a kindergarten or a training center, or you are a brand new teacher, you don't have any experience at all, depending on your location within China, you may save a bit more or a bit less. I mean, I have some friends I know in Shanghai who are paycheck to paycheck and save absolutely nothing because they spend it living a very nice life. Rule, I would say, even as a TEFL teacher, you should be able to save comfortably 10,000 RMB per month, regardless of where you are, assuming you're being reasonable. If you're not able to save 10,000, then you're either being underpaid or you're overspending. That would be my opinion. I hope this video was useful to some of you. I've had a few messages now. In fact, I just had one just before recording this video about savings potentials. So hopefully this gives you guys a little bit of insight into what you're actually able to save whilst you're out here. And yeah, as always, if you have any questions, just pop them into the comment section and I'll answer them as best I can. Bye bye, guys.